A mass tort is beneficial in the sense that the court appoints a group of attorneys to pool their resources and to engage in the pursuit of justice on behalf of those individuals injured. This team effort is very important because when you're going against the largest companies and the largest law firms, sometimes it's like a David versus Goliath. And you need a group of talented attorneys who are experienced in the field, who can make the claims and who can pool the resources and hire the world's leading experts, whether they're doctors or scientists, so that you can have an equal playing field with respect to these very, very large and well-financed companies. The greatest accomplishment is to get the corporations to change their conduct so that the number one thing is safety and the safety of consumers.
That is probably the most difficult process that a person goes through. One moment they're working, having income, the next moment they're in a hospital, they're incurring medical bills, and their future is uncertain. There are sources to assist, such as disability, victims of violent crimes, Medi-Cal, some different assisted areas, and it all depends upon the age. Children Society take care of children with serious injuries. If you are injured on the job by the negligence of a non-co-employee, so you're working but somebody who's on the site hurts you, you have third-party liability. A lot of things that you're not going to think of that an experienced lawyer will be able to answer you and give you direction and some counsel as to how, and if nothing else, can work on delaying the bill collectors that start to knock at your door.
Well, initially, obviously, they need to get the correct physicians to make sure that what they're dealing with, because sometimes brain injuries aren't as apparent as, say, a broken arm. Those are pretty easy to tell, but brain injuries can be subtle. So obviously, a loved one needs to make sure that they're focusing on what happened to their loved one, spouse, child, or whoever it is. Once that's been determined by the appropriate physician, then obviously they need to look into the future as best they can to determine what care that person may need. And that's where an attorney who specializes in brain injury cases can really assist. A law firm that is experienced in this type of injury can direct them to the right type of care, the right facilities, where they'll find people who specialize not just here in the Inland Empire, but even in Los Angeles and maybe beyond. We've had experience with experts who specialize in brain injuries pretty much all over the country.
You don't go to a brain surgeon if you have heart problems. You know, you're going to go to the specialist. You're going to go to the person who's got the experience that can adequately prosecute your case and achieve the best results possible for you. We like to think of ourselves as those specialists, and we don't do divorce law, we don't do contract law, we don't do criminal law. You need a lot of other firms that are jack of all trades. When you got a complicated or a very serious injury such as burn, you go to the specialist. We know the local plastic surgeons that can often help in continuing the healing process beyond the initial emergency care, to help minimize those scarring, to get to the correct psychological care, so that to help minimize the internal scarring that often a lot of the clients experience well beyond when the pain subsides.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Rolota. I am the legal assistant here at the Gartzman Law Firm. I'm usually the first point of contact when a client calls our firm. I handle client billing and support, as well as assist the attorneys with case management.
I'm Judson Malley. I'm an associate attorney here at the Gartzman Law Firm. I work directly with Mr. Gartzman on the majority of cases, so there's a good chance you'll get to work with me directly. I enjoy helping clients solve their federal and state tax matters, and I look forward to working with you to help you resolve yours.
Tillman & Associates is located in Atlanta, Georgia, but we represent injured workers in workers' compensation cases throughout the state of Georgia. We represent injured workers who have had relatively small injuries to those which are catastrophic in nature. Having an experienced workers' compensation attorney is vital, in my view, to all injured workers who are in the system. It is a complicated system, and to have someone who knows how to negotiate the workers' comp law for the benefit of the injured worker is very important. Tillman & Associates brings over 35 years of experience to the table in representing injured workers all over the state of Georgia in all types of work-related injuries. We put that experience to work for our clients so that all of their legal needs and their medical needs are met throughout the pendency of the case and until its final resolution and settlement. My top priority in representing my clients in a workers' compensation case is to make sure that all of their rights under the Workers' Compensation Act are protected and that all of the obligations of the workers' compensation carrier are met and that my client does in fact get all of the income benefits, all of the medical benefits that law provides, and that at a time when it's appropriate to wrap the case up in the form of a settlement, that we do that to maximize that recovery for my client. Some of the most devastating injuries that we see in workers' compensation are those involving the spine. These injuries can cause damage to the cervical spine or the lumbar spine and can result from such things as serious lifting accidents, falls, twisting, or anything of that nature. My main concern in handling those cases, whether it is a catastrophic spinal injury or a spinal injury that is just going to be disabling for a significant period of time, is to ensure that my client does receive the maximum medical recovery that they can. These cases are driven by the medical, and once the medical is stable and we know where that person is and is going to be, both from a standpoint of future medical care, ability to work, all of those issues, then we can move that client into a discussion with the insurance company about how to settle that case. These are life-changing cases, and how all of those steps in the case are handled from beginning through the medical and all the way to settlement and resolution is very important. An experienced attorney is really vital in looking at these cases, knowing how it fits the Workers' Compensation Act, and taking it through to the best recovery for my clients possible. The most rewarding part of that entire process is to see our clients put their lives back together, be able to move back into the world with their families in a way that is healthy and most likely to give them a full life going forward.
At Boone & Stone, we represent both businesses and consumers in cases against banks, insurance companies, finance companies, other service industries that may cause a financial loss to a business or a consumer. When a victim is bringing a claim against a large institution with a well-funded defense, they need a firm like Boone & Stone whose lawyers are respected by the defense lawyers that represent those entities. They need a firm that will take their case to trial no matter what, unless an appropriate settlement for fair value is reached. We've got a history of going up against very well-funded defendants with very talented, large legal teams and winning.
Aviation is a very heavily regulated area, and the language that's used is technical. What's great about having had more than 40 years of flying 73 different kinds of airplanes is they can't say words that I don't understand. It really is a special language, and if you don't know the language, you can't do a good job in that business. You know, aviation accidents really are very technical in nature, and they're very cost extensive. So unless you go to a firm that knows how to fly airplanes, that knows how to try lawsuits, and that has the economic resources to develop the case, I don't think that you're going to get what you're looking for. In a catastrophic injury case, I think a lot of people think that the injury just speaks for itself, and that's not true. We've handled cases involving brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, mega burn cases. Our primary focus on the damages side is to make certain that everyone in the courtroom understands what the impact is on the entire person, their perspective, their happiness, their wellness, and what they're going to need in the future. The client's main concern when they call us about a serious injury case is knowing that we care about them and are going to pay attention. A lot of law firms, I think, lose the client in the file cabinet, and our clients stay right on our desk.